At this time, what I'd like to do is who was the assistant, the vice chair of the budget last year? Scott, and Scott's on Zoom. So would I like to turn it over to the budget committee to nominate a chair?
Who's not here? Let's nominate them.
Yeah, can I make, can I-
He wants to be the chair.
Val?
no, can I make a motion that Val Scove be the chair? And just so you know, I did email him and he accepted the responsibility if he is nominated.
Any other nominations?
Does he need?
Okay,
Need a second.
I'll second that.
Second.
Mhm.
Any other nominations for Val to be the budget committee chair? Hearing none, all in favor of Val to be the budget committee chair. On budget. Opposed?
Yeah, for not showing
Did you
up.
say yes?
Would you say, Scott? Scott, is you?
I say yes.
Yes. Okay, it's unanimous.
Scott, can you hear
I
us?
have a time to.
He raised his hand.
I
Yes,
can hear you.
Thumbs up.
he just doesn't have. audio.
Yeah, is his microphone on? I can't hear you, Scott.
Can you hear me? Well,
Okay.
I'll work on that.
With me last year, do you remember?
I can't.
He's good. He's all good.
So now they have to, now the chair who's not here, so you have to nominate a vice chair.
Open nomination, sir?
Open the nomination for vice chair of the budget committee.
I nominate Kelly.
What does the vice chair do?
Acts as the chair when the chair is not here.
Here.
And
That's the only-
someone here will tell me what I'm supposed to do if I have to.
Guidance will be provided.
Anyone second in that?
I second that.
All in favor for Kelly to be the vice chair? Opposed? Abstention? You're it, Kelly.
Oh, does that mean I'm up to you're gonna have to tell me what to do
Yeah.
tonight? Okay,
It'll be easy.
okay.
Tonight's easy.
Tonight is very easy.
That, Julie?
Matt has not joined.
Next, I'm gonna ask for any citizen comments prior to starting the joint session of the budget and select board. I don't see any citizen comments. I'd like to make a few comments if I may, starting off. I want to thank the budget committee and the select board for attending this most wonderful time of the year, as the town manager likes to say. I want to thank personally thank the town manager, the staff and the department heads for putting together the budget book and getting all the numbers together and crunching numbers and doing what they do before we sit here for the next 7, 8 nights, whatever it's gonna be. As we all know, we have a responsibility to our taxpayers of Waldeboro to make sure we put together a comprehensive and well thought out and disciplined budget. We have a lot of residents, longtime residents in this town that go month after month trying to figure out how they're gonna pay the bills and stay in the house and whatnot, and they really depend on us, and they really appreciate what we've done the last couple of years here as a board of well-versed citizens of Waldeboro that understand what their needs are. So I want to thank you guys and girls, ladies, about what we've done the past few years here with the budget committee. Something you want to keep in mind, please, is as we sit here tonight, right now, Union RSU 40 is putting together, this is their first night to do the RSU 40 budget. We all know that the school budget is 68% of where our tax dollars go. I will give them a lot of thanks and praise. They've done a lot of work in the last 6 months or a year trying to figure out a way to keep their budget low. If you haven't been following their news, there's a lot of issues right now with the high school. They are putting together a bond package to try and get that high school up to where it needs to be, so they don't have to shut it down. If they shut that high school down, we're gonna be in big trouble. It's gonna cost us a lot more to ship our students out of town to other high schools than it is for us to fix that school to get it up to par. And we certainly can't afford to pay $150, $160 million to build a new high school at this point. So they have a plan right now in place, which is pretty good. You can see it on their website and on YouTube. I've watched that presentation probably 20 times. It's just under 25 million. That's gonna get the high school up to where it needs to be. It's gonna be sustainable for the next 30, 40, 50 years. So once again, I wanna thank the administration out there for doing what they can do and look out for our taxpayers. I've actually sent them a personal invitation, Julie did, for them to attend one of these meetings. Whether it's gonna happen or not, it'd be nice to have someone from the RSU come in and brief all of us on what their plan is. So we have that in the back of our head, so when we're talking to our citizens out there, our residents, that they understand, we understand where they're coming from. Just a couple quick, housekeeping notes. We will be taking some breaks occasionally. And, by all means, if there's an emergency, you gotta go. And we will, make sure we're respectful of each other. Questions are gonna be asked. Sometimes the feelings may get hurt, but, it's all part of the process, and we look forward to being here the next several nights to make this thing happen. That's all I have in my mouth. Answers the budget committee.
Someone tell me what to do.
Okay. With that said, I guess I will turn it over to town manager for the overview.
Hi, guys and girls. Thanks for coming to the most wonderful time of the year, because to me, it truly is the most wonderful time of the year. I have a slide presentation for you to start you off. We've got a lot of fun things. I kind of kept some things under wraps to surprise you with, all good stuff. But a couple of things, you will note that you have a new sheet in front of you. And if you look at the back, it says what the tax burden is on your sheet in your book. It was, I think, a little over 9%. And now we're just a little under 7%. With the tax implication, and that's because we did get the, what is it called, Peg? Help me out, just blank on that. Revenue sharing from the state number. Of course, we put the books out Thursday, and the revenue sharing number was put out on Friday. So I want to point out that this is the first time we're in single digits in a few years with the budget. So that's a big deal. And I think that speaks volumes to what we've done as your management team and our department heads, but the same thing with our select board and our budget committee over the last few years. So we're not starting off with double digits, so we're single digits. So I'm really proud of that. So without further ado, I will start us out on our slideshow. Budget information, this is just an overview. It's in your book of when our budget meetings are. March 2nd, 5th, 9th, 11th, 17th, the 26th, and the 31st if needed. And the select board will finalize the budget and the town warrant on April 7th. All of these documents will be available online, and all of our budget meetings are streamed. Again, this is more of the calendar that goes into a couple of other fun things that are happening throughout this budget cycle, all the way up to June 9th when it is election day. What is the primary purpose of our budget? Our budget is establishing a systematic financial control framework, which is the foundation for limitations and controls on local government financial operations. The difference between total appropriations and revenues represents the amount that must be raised through taxation for town purposes. And again, we're happy about that because we're in the single digit percentages, which is great. I want to remind everybody, the town is responsible for collecting taxes for the schools, RSU 40 and Midcoast School of Technology, and Lincoln County and its own operations. You would be amazed how many times when people are paying their taxes, they think it all goes to the town. So just so you can tell all your friends and neighbors, it is also, we also collect for the schools and for Lincoln County. The budget is a management and planning tool. And given our limited resources available, it helps us in identifying objectives that have the highest priority and address the greatest needs. I say this all the time. This is the most important thing that happens in this town. It's the budget. It is what lays out what our priorities are. It's what says, it really is the document that says the most about us as a community. It really, what are you willing to pay for? Like, what are your priorities? And that really sets the tone. I always say that if you actually want to make a difference in your town, be on the budget committee. Everybody thinks it's the select board. It's really the budget committee. No offense to the select board here. But truly it is, because you're deciding where the money goes, and that's really, really important. The importance of the budget committee. You are a vital role in shaping our community's future because the feedback is invaluable that we get. And I mean this in the best way because it can happen to the best of us. You know, I do this every day. We do this every day. The select board meets twice a month. We are used to this. Sometimes it takes somebody to say, hey, did you think of this? And we love that. I'm asked consistently. And sometimes I think it's kind of a negative thing. Why do you hire young people? I love that question. What's with hiring those millennials? We like millennials. It's a different perspective. We don't want to all have the same perspective. We want to be challenged and we want people to ask questions. So I think it's great when the budget committee gets together with the select board and it's such a diverse group and we all get to hear what each other think. Our budget has evolved into a strategic tool that reflects policies and priorities. It demonstrates how the community plans to raise revenue, allocate spending, and make investments with year-to-year changes indicating the desired direction. It is a strategic plan, and that's how we've looked at it, at least since I've gotten here. And it is the most crucial document that the local government produces. And we would like to just say thank you to all of you for serving. It really is quite an important thing. What everybody is always concerned about is the mill rate, and it's the figure that towns use to calculate property taxes. It is the property rate, it is the property tax rate per 1,000 of property value. And that is based on your assessment, your municipal valuation. It's broken into three major categories: town, county, and school. The school, which is RSU 40 and Midcoast, are 67.98% of that $1,000 worth of property value. The town is 24.64% and the county is 7.38%. So that's pretty much how that breaks down. So when you're looking at your tax bill, 67.98% of that's going to the schools, 24.64% is going to the town, and 7.38% is going to the county. Overall, this year, we have an increase in revenue of 3.32%. We are budgeting one major new revenue from the state reimbursement for renewable energy tax exemptions. So that has never been in here before. That is totally new. What that is how we collect money for any solar that is in town. We now get reimbursed from the state for that, and that comes in as a new form of revenue. I will tell you right now, we have, I just want to let Matt Lawrence in. we have utilized fund balance down to a maximum of 75 days. And this is pursuant to the policy. I typically like to be around $800,000, and then you guys come in and then you normally put it somewhere in the middle. So I went with what the budget committee has been doing, and everybody always seems to be very comfortable right around 75 days. So the fund balance that is calculated in this budget leaves us 75 days of fund balance. So I'm sure we'll have much more conversation about that, but I needed a starting point. As far as our expenses go, each bar here represents a proportional share of the total budget for that department, for that department. As you can see, public safety, which is our big three, police, fire, and EMS, is 45.8% of our budget. Other financing, which would be our debt service and the transfer station, is 22.2% of our budget. Public Works is 15.5% of our budget. General government, which would be like the select board and the town office, 9.1%. Community services, that would be all of the nonprofits that ask for financial assistance, and our rec department, 2.3%. Community development, 2.1%. Our debt service was not another financing, that was separate, 1.6%. So insurance, 0.8%, and human services, 0.7%. Public safety focus, our key budget drivers. Obviously, this category is by far our largest expenditure, nearly double the next highest category. And also capital investment. Other financing also includes our capital. I'm sorry, it wasn't debt service, I misspoke. That remains high due to capital reserve funds, which the town uses for our long-term equipment and infrastructure needs. And wages and benefits are a major driver across all departments. And it was a 7.8% overall increase in salaries and wages, with 70% of that increase occurring in public safety. Again, you're going to see a theme. Public safety is a place that we really focus. This is a dollar increase by department. The chart highlights where an additional $396,604 in total budget growth was allocated. Again, safety and capital. Combined public safety and other financing, that's nearly 69% of this total budget. The public safety shift, the $158,428 increase in public safety was driven by wage adjustments and maintaining a full complement of 8 police officers and, our EMS staff. And human services is one of our smallest departments, and it saw a significant increase in its own budget. But that honestly was due to the fact that last year, if you'll all remember, a lot of those social service agencies and community services, we took it out of the taxpayer funding and put it into trust funds. So just be aware, that's something that you guys made a decision to do last year. This budget reflects them back in the public funding sector, not into the trust fund sector. Salaries and wages, always a big discussion. As you know, the town is focused on increasing wages and benefits to attract and retain qualified employees. And that was the trend from 2019 to 2025. 70% of recent salary and wage increases over those years were directed to public safety departments. And that was basically the police and the EMS. And that was to remain competitive with rising salaries statewide. The growth rate accelerated during the 2022-2026 period, and it's at 13% for the 2026 budget. This period aligns with the EMS transition from a per diem model to a full-time model. While costs are still rising, the budget shows a significantly lower growth rate. So this year's budget essentially only shows a 4.23%. So if you look at it like last year, 2026, we were at 13%. And now we're down to a 4.23 growth rate. So that's good news for us, guys and girls. That's great news. We want to be excited about that because we're finally seeing that level off. So we're happy about that, and you should be too. Our health insurance, I'm gonna get into a little bit more, but we had a projected 10% increase in health insurance premiums. And that was anticipated and budgeted for in several departments. Mandated benefits, the budget incorporates new state mandates. We have the contributions to the paid family medical leave program again, contractual obligations. We do have two departments, well, technically three, transfer station, public works, and police, that are contractual under AFSCME collective bargaining unit. And the rest that are not governed by contract, our non-contractual salaries are planned for and subject to performance reviews. So some good news, really excited about this. We've had some success this year with our workers' compensation. We have a total savings of $8,114, a 4.7% reduction in overall costs. And I'm going to give credit where credit is due, our PEG. We now participate in our WCSIP, which is a workers' comp safety incentive program, and we use it to secure a more competitive premium rate. So participation in that program, there was a handout for you. It just tells you a little bit of the things that we have to do to be part of that program. We have to have safety meetings. We're taking it much more seriously. And there's a whole list of requirements that we have to do, and we have completed those and do them. We also have a great safety trend. In 2023, we had 17 injuries, in 2024, 11, and in 2025, 6 injuries. So that's kind of an important number. So our workman's compensation is going down because our safety performance is getting better. We also, health insurance, despite a 9% market increase, our actual budget impact was limited to 6.5%. And how we did that was we migrated our plan and to a lower deductible plan, which let us address our HRA and reduce our HRA contributions. So we've achieved a $14,968. I wanted to put 15,000 there, but I wanted to round up, but compared to our baseline projections. So if we left everything the same in 2027, that was in 2026, we actually saved $14,968. Now, that's not going to be reflected because, of course, there's changes in plans, whether you're going from single to a family or family to single, or new employee, new hire. So our 6.5% increase significantly outperforms the 17.5 average increase currently being reported by the Bureau of Insurance Data for providers in Maine. And it's better than those towns that do not participate in the Maine Employee Health Trust. But it's also, we're performing better than some of those people in Maine Employees Health Trust because we made the change. So it's not always looking about what premiums lower, it's about what's premiums lower and what HRA spending is. So we really looked at that. And again, I'm going to give a lot of credit to PEG on this. This was something we looked at, a decision that was made that, it's something we do every year, PEG and I, it's part of just what we do. And we made the change and it ended up saving money. So we're really proud of that. It's one of those things that not everybody sees, when people say, I wonder what they do in there. This is the fun stuff we do. We talk about health insurance and workers' comp and people getting injured and how do we fix that? So those are exciting things to us. Retirement contributions are made to Maine PERS. It's 10.2% for what I call regular employees and 13.2% for public safety special plans. And that's for police, fire, EMS. Obviously, personnel costs have a notable impact on the overall budget. Personnel costs, salaries, wages, and benefits combined represent a large percentage of the total annual budget. I mean, when you look at it, it's close to 60%. It's at 59.31. So our costs, more than half of our costs, are personnel costs. It's the people. Obviously, increases in salaries directly affect the cost of benefits such as Medicare, pension contributions, and workers' comp. We have had operational stability now, I would say, for 2 years. The strategy of increasing full-time staffing and offering competitive schedules like the 48-hour shift for EMS has been instrumental in ensuring consistent staffing levels and round-the-clock coverage, which in turn helps generate revenue to offset expenses. And we've addressed shortages. We've made wage adjustments, particularly in public safety, and that was a direct response to recruitment and retention challenges in the current job market. And just so you know, I'm sure EMS and police, when the chiefs are here, they will discuss all of those fun things with you in much more detail than I am tonight. The general government budget, and that's select board, town manager, assessor, finance, town clerk, municipal building. We have a 7.1% overall increase. And the key budget drivers in this budget is the town clerk budget shows an increase. That is the largest, and that adjustment accounts for, we're taking a part-time position that you were requesting, a part-time position that you approved last year go to a full-time position, which prior to 2020 existed within the town office. So we've had no one, and then we got a part-timer, and now we're requesting that it go to full-time, and that would be a shared employee between finance, Peg's office, and the front office with the town clerk. The municipal building is down 9.2% cost. That's the only department that shows a decrease. Overall building costs have fluctuated due to rising IT, cybersecurity needs, but this year's allocation is slightly lower than the previous year. And this budget does include reinstating the stipends for the select board members. So I didn't just put that in there so they'll be nice to me and keep me. We did a salary survey, and a lot of places, okay, every place around us pays a stipend to their select board. Back in 2020, the select board opted to not take a stipend. And every year I put it back in there and it's come out, but really they are the only select board. It would be $1,000 per position. They're the only select board around that does not take any money for all the hours and time they put into this community. Just some operational highlights. The front office processed 15,965 transactions and collected $14,906,214. The back office distributed over 175 food baskets at Thanksgiving and Christmas and provided 72 boxes of joy to children for Christmas. The code officer processed 360 permit applications totaling $85,009. And the planning department received $2,308,500 in grants during 2025 and an additional $353,000 for the first half of 2026. So grant writing is very healthy in the town of Waldoboro. Our EMS medical service budget has a total expense increase of 4.1%. This growth is largely driven by personnel costs and increased operational needs, while also being offset by rising revenues from service agreements with our neighboring towns. Again, the primary categories contributing to the budget include payroll and benefits. It's 11.1 rise in overtime costs, and that is due to the staff working 48-hour shifts. Health insurance premiums were also anticipated to increase by 10%, and that's a department where there were some switches, so there's a little bit of, that's one of those departments where it's not so easily to see that cost went down. Operating expenses are set to rise, and that's including a new online training platform and replenishment of medical consumables. Equipment maintenance is increasing a little bit for preventative care, for power loads and stretchers. Conversely, vehicle maintenance is projected to decrease, because of a newer ambulance fleet and our in-house servicing of vehicles. Total revenue is projected to grow by about 2%. General EMS revenue from emergency calls and transfers is budgeted at $1,080,744, and that's reflecting significant increases in mutual assistant charges to other nearby towns like Warren and Union. This budget, I think, reflects a town focused on regional leadership and staff retention. It provides 24/7 coverage and formalizing contracts with surrounding communities. Because we've done that, Waldeboro has positioned itself as a vital service provider for the area. The investment in newer equipment and competitive wages indicates a commitment to maintaining high service standards while managing long-term costs. And I will tell you that we did get a $350,000 grant for a new ambulance. So that is a cost we do not have to make up for in our capital budget. So there was a lot of jumping up and down and happiness there. I'm not gonna lie, there was an awful lot of that. I appeared to have lost Scott. Oh, he's still there. Yeah, he's still there. His video's off. Okay. Oh, have to go back. Our fire department, the total expenses for the department are projected to increase $17,299. Again, payroll. We increase our stipends for our firefighter pay. It always rises to match what we pay the basic EMTs. Again, these are volunteer firefighters that are paid a stipend for their attendance. Again, employee benefits, that includes costs for Medicare, Social Security, workman's comp, and also an annuity program called LoSAP for our volunteers. Operating expenses cover items like training, travel supplies, and membership fees, and that increased to $13,021 in 2027 to allow for more training. Equipment repair and maintenance, this is always a significant expense category, and that includes maintenance for apparatus, fuel, radio, and new tools and purchases. This year, that kind of ramped that one line up is new nozzles and dash cams. And believe it or not, nozzles for fire trucks are a little expensive. Who would have known? But we need some new nozzles. And our other expenses, again, includes our health services, specifically annual physicals and our cancer screening of our personnel, which just happened last week. They were there they were here during the storm, believe it or not. Our police department, the total expenses for our police services increased $1,391,897 in 2026 to a requested $1,440,367. The overall payroll compensation is projected to increase from $890,674 to $929,861. This includes a request to move a part-time administrative employee to full-time. Again, benefits are up. The total utilities budget shows a significant decrease in this department, and that's largely a result of reduced projections for telephone, internet services, and heating oil. So I will tell you, today was probably not the best day for you to be here to see our reduction in heating oil. We did have a little glitch this morning, and they came right out and addressed it. But we have seen a slight decrease in heating oil since we have the new system and it went to electric, and it's offset by our solar farm up at our transfer station. But I will tell you, when the electric system is down, we still do have to rely on the fuel oil system. So there is a little savings, but it may not be the savings that everybody was anticipating. And projected revenue in the police department is set to increase. And this is primarily from the school resource officer salary and special event coverage that the school pays us for having a school resource officer and having coverage at sporting events. Utilities, the municipal building shifted its energy needs from fuel oil to electricity. The increase in electricity consumption is designed to be offset by the town solar farm at the transfer station, and is hopefully going to control the long-term energy costs. IT and technology drivers, a major portion of this, of utility increases in previous years was driven by higher IT and security costs, which now account for roughly half the total utility increase across certain departments. Most of the building related utilities, electricity, heating oil, water and sewer are proportionally distributed amongst the departments that share the municipal building, including police, fire, EMS, and the town office. The total public works budget is projected to increase by $12,218. Again, payroll, benefits. They include wages and overtime budgeted based on an estimate of 16 storms per year. I can tell you they're over the 16 storms this year. And one of the things I'd like to point out is that our new director, Will Pratt, who will be presenting his budget this year, really looks at his schedule. One of the things I'm very proud of in that department is how well their director and the employees work. So, you know, if there's a storm coming in, it starts a little bit later, you know, they're coming in a little bit later. If there's something, you know, if downtown needs to be done at 4 o'clock in the morning because there's no traffic around, they're coming in at 4 and they're leaving a little bit early. So he's really managing his overtime well. And I think that's great. And I just think that that whole team there is really working towards what's best for the town. And that's really nice to see. There is a significant increase in the salt and calcium chloride budget, and that's to align with recommended application rates for salt priority routes. And you're going to hear a lot about that from Will. Our other road expenses include sand and gravel, paving materials, and pavement sweeping. Salt priority routes, like I said, will be a discussion. You'll be giving probably a handout from the state, if not having a state representative here one night from the DOT to actually talk about salt priority routes. That would not be for every road in town, but it would be for our major roadways in town. And one of the things is a higher salt application rate makes the roads safer and it gets them clean quicker, and it does reduce overtime. So it's one of those things that we're going to try, and we'll talk to you more about. The primary revenue source for this department is the State of Maine LRAP, Local Road Assistance Program, and that is projected at $116,504 for 2027. Overall trends indicate a focus on addressing rising costs for materials and aligning maintenance practices with best practices. And when Public Works comes, we're going to give you a little idea of the select board had asked to get some information on the mechanic program that we have here and some of the cost savings. So we will be giving you a little extra information on that, and I think you'll be very pleased with what you're reading. And this is our new truck that we ordered. It's very special. It's a levitating dump truck that removes cars from the sides of the roads. So that was, again, we got a grant for that, because I certainly wouldn't spend millions of dollars on something like that, but good humor, good. Recreation remains largely unchanged from last year. There were slight increases in the cost of portable toilets, which were offset by a reduction in weed control. And in the capital plan, you will see a provision for the Madomic River Community Park and the community center. These 2 items will require discussion and planning when we get to capital. I also want to mention that last year there was a lot of discussion about the recreation enterprise fund. One of the things that Marcus had said to you last year was, well, I don't know that I want to take a lot of money out of my enterprise fund, because some years are good and some years aren't. And we had just come off a really good year where he had a totally full summer camp and made money. And this year he had did not fill every spot in his summer camp, and there wasn't as much money. So I'm sure he will talk to you more about that, but some of those interesting things. The transfer station, the largest driver of the overall expense increase is, that again was the rise in health insurance. And that is because another person was added to that department. So, another person was added to that department. They moved from Public Works over to the transfer station. The budget also reflects savings in demo, which is our demolition debris expenses. And that's due to the town implementing something that you guys wanted last year, which was the on-site crushing of debris with an excavator. So you all love the idea of getting an excavator. So they have an excavator now and they crush things, and that reduces the number of transportation trips needed to dispose of it from 145 trips down to 90 per year. So that was very nice. And a majority of the revenue comes from the town of Waldeboro's general fund. But significant revenue is also generated from services provided to the towns of Friendship and Cushing. Earlier this year, John presented a potential plan to go to doing our own transportation of and hauling of our demo debris and our solid waste. He presented it to the select board. We considered that. We considered having a waste hub haul our waste, and we also looked at keeping it status quo. The select board, I think, made the decision to keep it status quo for now, always leaving the door open to new and different ideas. But the recommendation was to get I call it a donkey dog yard truck, because some people call it a donkey and some people call it a yard dog. So Julie named it a donkey dog, which I think is really cute. So it's a little stubby truck that they can attach to the trailer and move it and put it in another place, so that when the hauler comes, they don't have to they don't have to shut down for 2 hours while they wait for the hauler to come pick it up. And a truck under the trailer makes it more stable, so that the landing gear, when it's compacting, doesn't fail, because we did have that happen last year. So you will hear more about that. You will get when we come to the transfer station, you will get information on that analysis that was done. But I just wanted to let you know, John likes to talk about doing his own transportation, but we really did go over that, and the select board made their decision with that. Capital, one of my most favorite parts of the budget. It shows an overall increase with significant funding allocated to specific community projects. Again, this budget is funded by a large transfer from the general fund, along with some capital contributions from the towns of Friendship and Cushing for shared services like EMS equipment and the transfer station. Key capital projects and reserves. Again, surface paving reserve, the largest single allocation is for paving of roads. And this year that will include Old Route 1, which needs a significant portion of it reconstructed, which the Public Works Department can do. Depot Street, which will be Depot Street from Route 1 to the railroad tracks. And they also have to finish off Orf's Corner. The allocation increases from 400 to 500,000, and this will fund 4.6 miles of paving. So that is something that we went back and forth on, and it's really $100,000 per 1 mile of roadway of paving. And we did make it a little bit more because Old Route 1 is going to require, because they're going to be taking it down to the base. There's not going to be any paving left, so they're going to have to make it thicker in areas and overlay some other areas. The EMS equipment reserve, the budget for the EMS equipment decreased from the prior year's large grant adjusted amount. So again, that's because we got this $350,000 grant for an ambulance that we're really excited about. The recreational park reserve, and that's a new line item, allocates $160,000 for the community center / Madomic River Community Park, which also received a separate $500,000 grant in, technically it was in 2025, but it was in fiscal year 2026. So we got a $500,000 grant, for the Madomic, River Community Park. For those of you who do not know where it is on a former site on Friendship Road. I'm not allowed to say what the former site's name, but it was a large manufacturing place, and now it just has a concrete slab, and that is where the Madomic Valley Community, the Madomic Community River Community Park is. I also put in $25,000 for Marine Park, and for those of you that don't know where that is in Dutch Neck. And we would be addressing the ramp there. If you go down the ramp if you're looking at it into the river, on the left side, there are some issues with it, and at the bottom, we need to extend it a little bit. So we did have a cost estimate for that between $41,000 and $49,000. So there is some money in the reserve, and that $25,000 would allow for us to get that project done. This budget reflects ongoing capital improvement program. I gotta tell you, we started last year with our big, beautiful sheets of Val Scove capital plan there. Again, we fully funded Public Works last year, so you will see when you look at the little big sheet, that last year we were making the proper contributions, and I think, when I say we, I think the Budget Committee and the Select Board last year stood behind the idea that we're going to save because the interest rates are high right now. And we just have to be mindful that when and if the interest rates drop, we might have to rethink, okay, borrowing money is cheaper. We just have to remain agile, and I think we do, a really good job of that. And fund balance, the town of Waldoboro's unassigned fund balance has experienced significant fluctuations since 2005, with notable periods of decline, steady growth, and substantial increases in recent years. The fund balance saw a sharp decline during and after the financial crises, dropping from 1.3 million in 2007 to a low of just 59,642 by June 30th, 2011. But the town did implement strategies to rebuild its reserves, and it reached 1.5 million by 2016, and then experienced modest decreases in 2017 and 19, and then it stabilized around 1.1 million in 2020. But between 2021 and 2023, we saw the fund balance really jump. And that was in response to the decisions the Budget Committee and the Select Board made in 2020 during the COVID era. And then we continued to grow, and we peaked at 4.1 million in 2023 in June. So the growth has been described as a healthy amount by our town officials. That's how I would describe it. And we do have a strong financial position. 2024 to 2025, it was decreased in most part because there was a decision to use that to offset some of our tax increases. And that's what it's there for. So we funded capital projects, we offset property taxes. This budget represents utilization of $901,290, and that leaves 75 days of fund balance, which is perfectly halfway between the target and the maximum level. And that concludes this lovely slideshow of merriment. I just want to say thank you to the department heads and the staff for all their assistance in the preparation of the FY 2027 budget. They do a great job. I'm not taking them into the office and, saying cut here, cut there. They come in with responsible budgets. There's discussion, but I never have to say, hey, go cut, $200,000 out of your budget. So I want you to know that our department heads are very much aware of the town and what the town faces. And they did a great job. So I just wanted to let you know that, and that ends my official slideshow. I don't know if you want to break now or go right into something else.
Yeah, let's take a break till 7 p.m. and then we'll jump right into your. Oh, it's like. Break.
Yeah, but it's.
All right, let's call the meeting back to order, please.
No.
Everyone here now?
You need me?
I need you to where you, but not, I don't need you now.
Okay, if you'll turn your attention to one of the general fund. Department 100, which is page 1, Office of Select Board. What I'll do is I'll move the number of 32033 for the sake of discussion. And a second from the Select Board. We've been seconded. Now we will have discussion on that 320330. I've got one quick thing for you.
Okay.
Looking down on other expenses, 85-90,
Mm-hmm.
our year to date. I'm sorry. Your proposed budget for 27 is 7,500 from the Office of Select Board. On the next page. It says other expenses there as well.
Right.
What's the difference?
It's the same line.
One's a subtotal.
One's a subtotal and one's a total.
Other is its own subsection. It just looks like it's repeating, but it's.
Okay, okay,
Yeah.
I agree.
And I will just give you a little bit, that is unknown increases. So for example, the repairs at the
Solar fields.
solar field came out of that line item, which. So those are like the types of things. Unanticipated legal fees. So that arise from code. Or, planning board issues or something like that, that would be charged off to their professional fees.
Good.
And like I explained during my presentation, the payroll compensation is $1,000 per select board member. Which was less than they used to make.
That,
It's less than you used to
that's
make.
what I thought.
No, professional is wonderful.
Yeah, now, it's Select Board, you got any questions? Now, budget committee, you got for discussion? You think?
So I do have a question. So you mentioned that this line item for the stipend for the select board has been on the budget before and has been removed every time. I don't recall it being on the budget last year.
I think we discussed it. And then it got brought up if you wanted to add it.
I don't remember that. Doesn't mean it didn't happen, but I don't.
I think every year we mention that it's not, that it's zero and that if you want to add it back and they're always like, no.
So what's the select board say this year? Is it a yes, 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 or is it a no, no, no?
So you're gonna put us on.
I would,
Well,
I would take it out.
I mean, you know, it's well deserved, but,
Definitely not here for the money.
yeah.
Are you here for the fame, the
Yeah,
glory?
exactly.
What?
Yeah, it's the admiration, but, yeah. So that would be the question, is what's the select board say?
I just want to point out that they don't, like I said, they're the only ones locally that do not get a stipend. So
I like being a little bit different.
I put it in so that we could actually have a real discussion about it.
Well, we
I
wanna-
know you guys don't do it. You certainly don't do it for,
When you had it, it was $14.90 a year.
Right.
And a select board member that's not currently on the board for 2 years kept saying, I don't want it, I don't want it. And wanted to give it back. And I said, I can't not pay, I can't pay 4 and not pay 1. So it's yours to do with as you wish. And I know we donated it. but
they don't do it.
Something that was. So. Same. Sharing story.
Well, we've heard from 2 of the 5.
I'll make a motion to take it out of the budget. $5,000.
I'll second it. The select board, so that would make our new number,
26,615.
Can you repeat that, please, Patrick?
Yes, the total select board department would be $26,615 by taking out the stipend.
so we got a motion. Any other questions regarding to the select board and the select board? The budget, so I'm got a motion for 26,615 for the final budget for the select board. All in favor from the select board? 5-0.
Well, technically, we have to take out all the employee benefits.
Oh, you
that
take
go
the
with
benefits
it.
too.
840.
That was the total including that.
Oh, that was-
Oh, you already
Oh,
taken
you
it.
already did that?
Yes.
So,
Okay.
Because she's super tag.
Yep.
Super pay.
So now,
Okay.
done your.
Is there any other discussion from anybody in the budget committee about this select board?
If I just have a question, does getting a stipend from the town offer any kind of like legal protection to the select board members?
Any
That's
other?
a great question.
Really is.
I have a comment, that, in our history of Waldeboro Reading Group, one of the themes that, Jasper Stahl, the historian, comes back to is, the necessity, but also the annoyance of serving town government. And the need for people at the very beginning to step up into roles that are exceedingly frustrating and annoying. And I was reminded of today and how people complain, but also are happy to serve because it's necessary to. And although we're talking about the select board, there are of course a lot of other volunteers in this town who don't have the option of denying a stipend. Of course, the select board deserves more than that, but there's so many other people that work with no stipend. So I believe that historically, it makes sense that people volunteer because it needs to be done. So thank you.
Do Scott or Matthew or Matt have any comments from them? No? Okay, so we have a proposed budget of 26,615 for the office of select board. Do I have a motion to accept that?
So
Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Okay. All those in favor? Yeah, we got 2 online, so that's unanimous.
You got
7, right?
No.
7 here.
Well, we got
8.
2 online. 8. Did I miss
That's
that?
8.
8, sorry, my bad.
Thank you for your service, select board.
You're only missing.
Greatly appreciate it.
There's the admiration that Abden was looking for, because I can't see this.
Attaboy. Here, you can have my snack box.
Okay, next we'll move on to page 3, Office of the Town Manager.
Wait, no, you only voted on taking the 5,000 out, so now you gotta vote on the budget as a whole.
No, we voted on that budget. We voted on the new number of 26,615.
The motion in my head was Abden's motion of taking out the 5,000, but I gotcha, I'm with you,
Peg did say the number.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then they voted, I believe.
You're good.
Office of the Town Manager, page 3, Department 120.
So basically, the increase is all in salaries, benefits and wages, and then there's a decrease. Oh no, there's a little decrease in supplies. And some decrease in the health reimbursement account and the group life insurance. And this is 1.8 employees, so it would be me and my the executive assistant that is shared among other departments, and that would be something that Mr. Blodgett needs to exchange.
Mhm. So if I can get someone from the select board to make a motion on that number.
Before we do that, can I ask a question or do you want
Yeah,
to?
let's make the motion then discuss.
All right,
The motion is to,
So one of the select board, I don't want to make the motion on this one. But I'm gonna abstain.
The motion to discuss this line as written. Is that where we're starting?
Yep.
I'll make that motion.
The one, what is it, 112?
No.
187,
187,
949. Second,
Have discussed, please.
this increase in payroll compensation, what does that equate to in a percentage?
Some of it is part of my contract, and the other would be, we went 4% for employees who are not covered by a contract. They do not get what the
Yep.
contractual employees get.
what is the deduction of 562 on the paid family medical leave?
Um,
Or the reduction? Did you say reduction?
Yeah, so the paid family medical leave, I think when we first had to budget for it, we had an unknown, we didn't know.
Right,
If we were going to have to pay the full 1% or we were gonna split it between the employee 0.5% and the town 0.5%, and then we ended up. Going with the 0.5%, but in last budgets, there was an error that it budgeted at 1%. So you might see that throughout all the different departments, because no one is exempt from the paid family medical leave, so.
That's why I was wondering about the decrease.
Well, if you look at the 2026 budget and then the 2026 year to date,
Yeah,
that should be about half
should
at this
be that.
point, and it's only a quarter,
yes,
so
exactly.
that's reflective of what you just said.
Thank you.
Any other discussion? Question? Moved in second for 187,949 for the office of the town manager from the select board. All in favor? Three. Opposed? One, abstention. One.
Okay, for the budget committee, we have a number of $187,949 for the office of town manager. Do I have a motion to accept that number?
I'll motion.
Thank you. I was gonna say, do you guys not want to accept?
I heard crickets.
Yeah, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Any more discussion? All those in favor? Yeah. Is that everybody? Any opposed? Nope. Okay. 7-0.
801 absent. You got 9, right?
Oh,
801 absent.
you guys want to do a recount? I mean, I can't even count. Maybe I shouldn't be the vice chair.
On to the assessments department. Page 4.
yes. This is our assessor. Again, it's compensation. You'll see that, you can actually see the reduction here again in the paid family medical leave act, the workers' comp, and the health reimbursement account. And also a slight decrease in the trio annual fees and equipment maintenance. We have Daryl for 2 more years. So if you know anybody who would like to be a town assessor, let us know. And the nice thing, and one of the things that I got asked recently was, why is our cost for this so cheap compared to another community? We do not pay an outside service to come in and do revals. So many communities, they pay for a full reval to the tune of several $100,000 for town of our size. And we have an actual assessor that's 32 hours a week that we pay. So it's significantly different than what some other towns experience. Question, why are you so cheap?
So if you can't find a replacement, we're gonna have to pay a few $100,000.
Well, if you're gonna do the rebounds, I mean, it's it's a difficult position to fill. The two most difficult positions to fill in towns right now are assessors and code enforcement.
officer.
So,
People who deal with others' property.
yes, and yeah. So, you know anybody, we will train
How much longer?
2 more years. I keep asking you to make it 4, but
And he's only 32 hours. Yeah, I guess he would be. Yeah, I'll move 112,400 for the select board for the assessing department.
Second,
he's been here since he was 20 some odd years old.
1920.
1920.
1920.
Looks remarkably.
Any more discussion from the select board?
Wealth of knowledge.
All in favor from the select board for 112,400 for the assessment department? 5, 0, 0.
Okay, for the budget committee, we have a number of 112,400 for assessment services. Do I have a motion to accept that?
So moved.
Thank you. A
I'll
second?
second it.
Any more discussion? None online. All those in favor? All those in favor? Any opposed? No, okay. Thank you.
0.
So, for the finance department, which, makes up myself, the finance director, our tax collector, and proposed chair of a part-time person. Like Julie said, the other departments on the future departments, you'll see a little bit of change in payroll and benefits. And the other thing you'll notice in my department, under the place where it's actually on the second page. The equipment maintenance is down because we realigned some of the town clerk specific programs that were formerly under my department. And
And Peg's budget also already had that part-time individual accounted for in her budget. Because that's the budget line item it was charged to last year.
right. So if we were to go with someone for 32 or 36 hours, an additional person, no, not an additional person, more hours. And then we split the work between the clerk and the finance department. We also split the benefits and the pay and all of those things. Right down the middle. I also had a change in staff at the end of last fiscal year, so I basically had 2 tax collectors. So sometimes that happens when you have staff changes.
We go from this half-time employee to a full-time employee. This full-time employee was there pre-COVID.
So pre-COVID, we had 3 individuals in the front office. But they weren't devoted, Peg's never had, that finance department had technically 2 people in it. And the front office had 3 people. Had a clerk, an administrative assistant, and a tax collector BMV agent out front. 2020 came, somebody retired. But we never replaced that person
Right.
until last year
And you
Well,
replace
we-
it with a half.
with a half,
Half-time.
so we had 2.5 versus 3.
I have a stupid question. What is the number of hours that a full-time employee is working?
So it depends, 32 or 36, and some people work 40. So Peg and I are the 40-hour plus work people. The people in the front office are typically 36 and Daryl's 32.
So,
They did that because in 2020, there was a lot of cuts that needed to be made. So they reduced the hours of the office so that there could be savings there. So they cut us 1 person and reduced the hours.
Reduce the days of the week, right, instead of being open on Fridays,
so,
4 days.
so we're adding,
More hours to a part-time person.
okay, but another full-time person is still working 36 hours.
We have a tax collector, finance director, and then we would have this shared. schedule.
Okay, thank you. I don't know, so I'm just wondering how,
An easy way to look at it is that up until last year, we were down a person. If you looked at the office as how it was configured in December of 2019. We were down a person up until last year when the budget committee and the select board allowed us to get a 16-hour a week person.
so currently the total hours per week that the office is open, meaning that a person can walk in is how many hours?
It's 36 technically.
Okay,
So we are here Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday from 9 to 5, and then Tuesdays, the late night. So
And it goes up
Tuesdays,
early.
8 AM to 6 o'clock. So it was trying to find that balance of if you're going to do away with Friday, then when do people come in? And we went through starting really early at 7. And then we went through staying late till 7. And then what we went through was when do people actually show up? And that's when we arrived at the 8 AM to 6, because people between 6 and 7 were not coming in.
and prior to all these changes, was the office open 40 hours or was it
Yes.
ever, it was open
It
40
was open
hours?
5 days a week, 40 hours.
Okay. No, I'm not debating the schedule, seems to serve. I don't know, you would know. I mean,
So
it's
this- I
serving,
think the
it's just, I'm
schedule,
just asking about
you
what
know,
is the full-time hours?
So the people, I think part of the issue becomes is that we've always requested help for Peg. And we get her a little bit of help, but we've never gotten her back to. When you're handling a budget the size of ours, it's good to have an extra person. It's also good to have an extra person out front, because if one person is out, you're down to one person handling the counter out front. Or else the town manager goes out and screws it all up. Because she can't register every vehicle that walks through the door. But I think that the 3 is a good balance, because it helps with the people's wait time. And it also helps with the workload in the back office.
And the cycle of the workload,
Correct.
so like Pam's, some of it overlaps, but it's been helpful to have a person that we've had since
So, like-
August to help, right?
Right,
With-
so in
with-
May, you have taxes due, and then you're rolling right into the election, so you're processing the absentee ballots, and you're also processing tax. The third person is very helpful.
Anything over 32 is considered full time.
So now I understand.
I do have a question, Joe.
Yep.
For Peg. I see you've only spent 179,000 so far this year.
Yep.
Do you expect to spend another 100,000, 103,000 between now and July?
I'd say so. I mean, I. The equipment maintenance changes that we put through, I expect that. That to come through,
So that's still part of this.
yes.
It's still coming. It's not. It's the expenses are still coming.
Yes,
Okay. I just, it was a lot of money between now and
the end of the year.
June 30th.
So your liens are coming up, so all your processing for your liens are coming up.
Well, I'm just curious.
And our audit fee, we haven't paid for our audit fee yet this year, so there's things that will be coming.
Well, if you look, just good point there, if you look at your professional services,
Yeah, bills will be coming in.
what's that?
Bills will be coming in for that.
That would be the audit stuff.
That would be like, yeah, we sometimes
Well,
we
you
get.
you got your own, audit's got its own line number.
Audit has its own line, and then the professional services is extra help with like general ledger reconciliation, that sort of thing.
What about your supplies?
Supplies is,
Your operating expenses were 25, and you've only spent 9.
yeah, yeah, supplies, we could look at that if you wanted to.
No, that's not what I'm
Sometimes
asking.
we
I'm
look
just
at these
curious.
Numbers, and we say, well, it's, well, out of I mean, we got just under $9 million budget here. And if we're taking, well, it's only $1,000, but pennies add up.
The supply line item for finance kind of absorbs a lot of office supplies because all of the staff that's out there. I thought if we did have some left over, I might look at chairs, like, cause I know the chair life that we have is kind of needs to be kind of looked at. That was the only thing I thought of, is if there was anything left over.
What you're saying, you use the whole 14.5.
For this.
I'm
for
sorry,
this-
yeah, 25.
No, 66 so far, or 4. You're looking at supplies.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
When this is here. Are you trained, because you train education, that whole,
Training and education.
That's all different.
That one, I might be able to take that one down. I always get a little nervous if we're hiring or change with staff to make sure I'm covered to be able to send people to classes they need to go to.
The only thing I would caution with on supplies is the Microsoft Office licensing. Make sure that, I don't know if that's still in there.
Yes, it is.
It-
It's in the-
I don't know that we've re-upped that.
Okay,
So is that a potential bill that's coming?
yes, that would be in the 2065.
okay.
supply.
That
So
would
that-
be a big chunk.
What would that be, Peg? Are you thinking?
That is hard tell because they keep changing the formatting of how we used to have the subscriptions. It's like all individual
Mhm.
now, and we pay that through our IT supplier. Our IT service.
Yep.
But we can look at that and get back to you at the next meeting.
okay, bringing that down, that number down.
I mean,
Huh?
do you think reducing it by 1,000 would be detrimental?
No, it wouldn't be 5, it'd be 4, right?
You're talking about general supplies?
No, it would be, no, it'd be 4.
Right, 2065. We reduce that by 1,000. You're okay with that?
Are your chairs operational? Chairs are like the most important things in our lives. And I don't want people to notice it because we're mostly sitting in chairs. So if you're sitting at a desk.
I don't think we have enough time to talk about chairs.
Okay, well, you sort of made it offhand and I just wanted to give value to it. Like if you actually, if it's painful to be working, it should be addressed. But if you're just saying, you know, a new chair because it's wobbly is different than. you
Oh,
know.
yeah, no.
Just so you know, I hope you noticed tonight, you all have
I-
nice chairs.
I know, I was gonna say, is that in the
All of
budget?
the entire office staff has given up chairs for all of you.
Oh, so you must have nicer chairs then. Okay, fine.
Whose chair is this? Cause those really comfortable.
Yeah.
That could have come out of EMS.
No.
We
So,
are
Okay, so
thrifty.
you're okay with the chairs?
yes, so
Well-
if you took the supply line item down to 5,605. That brings us to a new total of 281,322.
Can you repeat that one more time? I'm sorry.
Sure.
281.
It's just $1,000 off the bottom. line.
Oh, it is. Okay.
I'll move 281,322 for the finance and customer service.
Second.
Any more discussion from the select board? All in favor? Opposed? 5-0.
We have budget committee, we have a revised number of 281,322. Do I have a motion to accept that?
I'll make that motion.
A second?
Second.
Any more discussion?
So it's an hourly employee.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Matt, Scott, you guys have anything to add? Or questions? No? All those in favor? Any opposed?
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you. Peg.
Uh-oh, now the cost of town clerk. Town clerk.
Pick it up, Dan.
You're picking on me?
Picking on your hand. Okay.
Your bill is overdue again. Oops.
Basically, as we've all been talking about the shared employee, which is why my budget went up. In addition to, under equipment, mine went up because I'm now the motor vehicle agent and Moses agent, and some of those fees went from Peg to myself. Anything else? The wages for our election clerks are the same. Which that reflects not, that I haven't spent very much, but June is still on this budget, so that will be an expense.
The 15 ballot clerks and 1 to 2 moderators, is that the same as what you've had in previous years?
That could fluctuate only with the size of the election in June is our biggest, really. Most paper. We added a few more ballots to the calculation. The ballot works.
It's the 8-page ballot.
Oh, I have no doubt. This is why I vote absentee, so I can sit at home at the kitchen table and fill it out. So,
Speaking of absentee. I don't know if anyone's actually written a snail mail letter, but have you bought a stamp lately? So absentee isn't, like, if you're sending out 900 absentee ballots and they're heavier, their weight, they cost me, I can't remember last year, I want to say it was like $1.30 something a ballot to mail each one out. We do get 4 cents off.
But your
absentee ballot?
Yeah, that's the
It's your,
If you live in town, you could just pick it up. But yeah, you can, but if they call me, I have to mail it. I can't say, yeah, pick this up.
$1,200.
your line for postage and mailing only went up $300. Wasn't there a postage increase in the last year? And is that all that it would amounted to, was 300?
Pam, did you hear her question?
Yes,
Yeah.
I was contemplating that answer to that. I don't know. It's really a guessing game on how many.
How many you're gonna need? Have you seen an increase continually over the last few years? Are more people voting absentee than they used to
Yes,
for both elections, the June and the November,
yeah, I would say yes.
by a lot?
No,
But how many are picking them up and how many are sending out?
I would say I mail out 400 or 500. I would on a big election, and November will be a big
Yeah.
election because it's a governor.
And Senate and House, and yeah,
So-
And then June will be primary too, so.
yeah, exactly, that's right.
The
June will be-
primary's on last year's budget in June.
That's
So
true.
yes,
Yep,
we're not.
That's right.
This isn't.
that's right, yep.
We saw the huge increase during the COVID era of
Yeah.
getting people, and once they realized they could vote absentee, that trend continued. I don't think there's been a larger dip. I think we're at where we were, and it's pretty much stayed same.
What happens if you have twice as many people who want to vote absentee than you did last year? Where does that extra funding come from?
Last year that. Is it November that I used all, no, it was election day, we had to dip into the absentee ballots that were remaining because there were so many people that showed up at the polls. That was November, right?
Yeah, we just think they're asking if you need that funding.
Where does that come from? Yeah, I'm saying.
Probably the select board contingency fund.
We would use
Yeah.
we could use that.
I'm guessing we figured it.
We haven't had that happen yet. And if she had other areas in her budget that could cover that, we would take it from
another
there.
line.
But if we didn't, we'd have to go to the select board. But people will get their ballot no matter what.
Absolutely.
What about your printing and binding? You haven't spent any money this year on that?
That's because the ballot hasn't been.
Ballot.
printed
Yeah.
Okay.
Timing.
Yep, okay.
Any other questions?
Comment. Hats off to the town clerk's office. You guys do a wonderful job with elections. I've been to a number of towns in Lincoln County, and I think that you run the smoothest election of every town in our county. So hats off.
Thanks. I really. We'll comment that our part-timer has been a huge blessing, so it really has, it's been, and if she was here full-time, it would be even that much better. It's a lot to do. I see why Rose was here a really long time, every single day. Because it's a lot, so it's.
So just bear in mind that we have a new tax collector that started July 1st. And Pam took over the BMB July 1st, so there's been a lot of flux in that front office and a lot of learning curve that's been there. And yes, Rose put in many more hours than the average person would think.
I make a motion of 148,426 for the clerk's office.
I'll second 148,426. Any more discussion from the select board? All in favor of 148,426 for the town clerk? 5-0-0.
Okay, we have a budget number of $148,426 for the town clerk. Do I have a motion to accept that? Motion, do I have a second?
Okay.
Any further discussion? Scott, Matt, no? Okay. All those in favor? Any opposed?
Go on to page 9, the municipal building.
The municipal building has an overall decrease of 4,322. That is mostly reflected in the telephone, internet, IT services. And that's, some of it is realignment of other areas needing more funding in that area and us needing less, plus we've replaced a lot of our computers, so we're in a good space, knock wood, Ruben. And we also made some changes to how we canceled some telephone lines and did some funding. We do have to maintain copper lines for emergencies, so we have a voice over internet. But we also, because of emergency services, we need to maintain some copper lines, so we did go through and revisit some of that. And we've also, like I said, we've eliminated some lines and put them on VoIP. So now, like, if you call, we've changed how you get in touch with Public Works, because now that's all over voice over internet. So we have like our recreation and our Public Works line that go through our main switchboard here as VoIP.
I do have a couple questions. Under 50-20, this is gonna affect not only the municipal building, but also because you're distributing that among the fire, EMS and police. I know you anticipate $4 per gallon for heating.
Is that enough?
Well, I would like to say it's gonna be less than that, but after what's going on the last few days, who knows?
So that was gonna be one of the things where I was like, hey, we can probably cut, because on March 13th, we're going to participate in Main Power Options, they do electricity, fuel oil, diesel. We were going to participate in that online bidding so that we could lock in. There's some discussion now about whether or not that's gonna take place.
And another thing is, I think that our consumption is gonna be less because we're operating off of. Well, obviously today's not a good example because we had a hiccup with our heat pumps, but we're seeing a decrease in the amount of oil. Plus, we've got a major insulation improvement being done above the fire station, and the fire department uses the most of the oil because of those two Modine heaters out there. So I think we can drop that a little bit on the oil, on the price of oil.
And until today, I would have said it was a great idea. It was like the perfect, so I will tell you, one of the most stressful periods of time as a town manager and finance director is when do we lock in our fuel oil price? I know that sounds crazy.
It's like gambling.
It's like, yeah, we feel like we're up in Bangor, like, let's just,
They
we're,
track it like.
let's just roll the dice,
Crazy person.
We do, and then, we're looking at the news, like, what's going on? So today we come in, so just to give you a funny, not funny, but peculiar story was, I got a call at 8 o'clock this morning, the heat pumps aren't working. And they just needed to be reset, there was no major issue, but the heat pumps needed to be reset, and then I'm watching the price of oil on the ticker go up this morning, so I was just like, well, there goes where I was gonna offer, like some potential savings. If you would like to adjust it, I would love to have some insight into that.
If you could take a look at, we don't have the gallons, I base it off gallons. What do we use for gallons in the last
I can tell you.
2 years?
That saved somewhere in here.
Yes,
And again,
it's under budget 2027 under utilities.
the majority of our oil burnt is gonna be through the fire department because of those Modine heaters for that bay. And once they tighten up that ceiling, it's gonna hopefully reduce that a little bit more.
When's that project being done?
In the near term, we've got
We've got to do it by June.
we've signed off on the
We got a grant.
on the contract
No,
to
I
do
heard
it.
that, but I was wondering if it had gotten, are you in contract?
Yep,
and-
so, yeah,
Okay,
we've already signed off on the contractor to do it.
thank you.
under budget, under utilities for 2027.
That may be one of those things, because it's spread out amongst different departments, and you may wanna take the time and
Mhm.
crunch it and see what you can do.
But
You're only going up $295.
yeah, I mean, you're only.
That's not even
Well,
a
it-
hundred,
but
that's,
it's,
We're talking $1,744
spread out over
here.
the-
Split out all the different.
Did you find it?
We're gonna see that number.
Second.
the total
And
completely.
and what I find interesting, EMS gets charged more for oil consumption than on fire.
Because they have the bays too.
Probably because
We
they're in
base
and out.
that, we base,
They're probably in and out more.
but we base that on how many hours, there's a
Oh, because
formula,
that's right, they use it here.
24/7, like we.
Right.
So for the calendar year 2025, the town office used 2,824 gallons.
How many?
2,824.7.
And that's from when to when?
The calendar year of 2025.
2024, 2024, you said?
25.
2025.
No, 2,800, 2,824 gallons.
In the,
In
In
2025.
2025.
Okay, gotcha.
How does that compare to last year? Before we had the heat pump?
Right.
Questions.
Well, we haven't. Not sure, because that would go, if it's calendar year, you're going from January,
I was just
To
doing 12
December.
months,
oh, okay.
like calendar year.
Right, so
12 months.
this is our first year.
The calendar year 2024, 12 months was 3,421.2.
Right, so that gives you a good. Because we didn't go online until February 1st of last year with this new system.
and we've had a very, very cold
Cold winter.
heating season this year, so your numbers are gonna be.
Correct. And we've supplemented with oil.
Yeah.
We didn't have a choice.
Cause that's all you got.
No, we have electricity.
Oh, that's not a,
So we have a heat pump system with
Yeah.
I
Resist-
will let Mr. Lodge explain what we have.
no, I get you, you got toasters. in it.
Resistant-
Yeah,
yeah,
you got,
resistant
resistant
heat.
heat, you don't wanna turn those on, you wanna see the.
But we-
the
but
meter
we're-
will spin,
But we're benefited because we have our own solar.
yeah,
Help us with that too.
It's more beneficial in the summer because in the winter we have snow, we have cloudy days, but
yeah. So you don't have somebody up there sweeping those panels up?
no. They clean off pretty quick.
I have solar panels too, it does, you hate those days where you lose the generation.
So is that something that you can look at closer?
I can, I mean,
You're gonna reduce all of them.
so what would you like me to take it down to if the usage that she just gave you of the 2824, how much? I just don't know how to calculate how much insulation savings. I don't know how to translate that. Do you want me to take it down 300 gallons?
Well, actually, they, when they did the energy study, they probably gave you an idea.
I don't think they,
I don't think they did.
I don't
They
think
didn't do an
they didn't
energy
do it.
study on the
they didn't
impact?
tell me how many
Yeah, but they
gallons.
didn't say what we would save by tightening that up. 'cause
Well, they
didn't know
converted-
what we would
yeah.
say, what we'd
But
insulate.
they convert it to BTUs.
Yeah.
And then you can convert that to,
So that is not, I am not an HVAC converting type person. But if somebody who was in HVAC would like to do that, I have no problem if they'd like to make that decision.
If we're gonna take it all the way across different departments, just knock the $295 off. For the increase,
No, I don't mind doing it by gallons.
but
I just,
I mean, that's not even 100 gallons.
no, I'm just. All I need to know is how many gallons would you like me to plan for, and then I can make all the adjustments through across all the.
How many did we budget for 2026? Budget,
For the building, this building,
Yep.
545. I think you already took it.
well, I mean, for the,
Gallons.
for the
well,
whole place?
no, for the whole place.
That I don't
28,
know.
24.
That was in 2025, not 26.
That was usage.
That was last year's usage,
Calendar years.
calendar year till December 31st usage.
So you're using that same number to budget for,
No, I cut that number down a little
by
bit.
how much?
I'd have to go,
It was 362 gallons is based off the 1440, just the town office, just the municipal building. I'm not talking about,
The other
Right.
departments.
divide that number by $4, because that's what we did last year, $4 too.
it's up to you guys, just tell me how many gallons to take off the total number, and I will be more than happy to do the math.
So 2024, the usage was what?
3421.
3421.
We dropped
So,
roughly 600 gallon
yeah, so,
to 25.
so are you feeling lucky?
So we dropped 600 gallons, but last year wasn't as cold as
I
this
was
year.
just about to say that. This year's winter has been much harder and it's only March 2nd. We're not done yet, so.
Yeah, we
And we had a period.
I'm over it, but I don't know that it's.
Right.
Down for about a month.
For about a month, January, we used oil.
Yeah, we used a lot of oil.
We used a lot of oil this year.
We got backup heat.
I'm just not comfortable with cutting it. Not comfortable.
Yeah, you have no idea.
I mean, I already cut it a little.
I got heat pumps in my house.
Okay.
I just,
I can
They're
look
not
at it
super
more
reliable.
and give you the numbers and you can,
Really?
you'll bring it back.
Mine are great.
But I also think you had cut the price down. To $3.
You got flaky electric?
Did I?
Yeah,
I had people look at it and everything.
not
What make?
for,
Did you?
for what it's worth.
Yeah, that's wrong.
I say we leave it and then
Guys,
I can revisit it.
I know.
Different people look at it and they said it's perfect. Nothing wrong with the system.
Say what now?
I've owned Fuji.
I will look at it again.
Now.
I will spend some
What a
time
difference.
tomorrow looking at it again.
Unbelievable.
I can't afford to spend.
And I will also
No,
add
you-
in
I-
July,
obviously.
January and February's
Yeah,
usage,
no,
because I can
believe
look on
me, I
that
get it.
tomorrow. I mean, if you wanna just put a pin in this, after the 13th, I'll know a lot more. Cause if we can lock in at $2 a gallon, I'm gonna lock in at $2 a gallon. Do I think it'll be $2 a gallon? I do not think it'll be $2 a gallon, but
I'm making a motion, we table this.
Do a cartwheel, you get $2 a gallon.
if I hit under 3, I'll do a cartwheel.
I'm making a motion, we table 250 municipal building.
Well, the overall delta is $2,400.
Yeah.
Max.
That's gonna affect the other.
So it ain't gonna
What
be
she
$2 a gallon.
But I'm talking across the board.
The study she's gonna do is also gonna affect the price.
Right, but I'm saying it's, yeah, just so you know, you're talking about roughly $2,400 spread over all the departments.
The only thing that'll be do better is if we do for that on the private.
Before we table it, can I ask a question?
The problem is you're not gonna do that till the 13th and you'll be,
We won't be done by the 13th.
you don't think so?
No. I talked too much.
It's only 3 more meetings.
I was gonna say.
Kelly's got a quick, Kelly's got
A very quick question. Under the building and grounds maintenance, you've only spent $2,500-ish of a 12,400. Are you expecting some really big maintenance item to come in the next few months?
Spring cleanup or something?
I mean, that would be heck of a spring cleanup.
Typically,
Wow, good.
so we have I wish somebody was here tonight. We have some door maintenance that we're planning on doing
And isn't there some windows being replaced over?
and some window replacements.
So the answer is yes, you have
Yes.
building maintenance, but okay. Okay.
Just haven't spent the money yet.
Pardon me?
We just haven't spent the money yet.
But it's a great question because it is,
And that's. Yeah. We have a few things.
Well, there's also custodial supplies.
Well, the custodial supplies is, our portion of the cleaning,
Right, but there's $1,300 more to spend.
yes,
so you got windows, you
but
got
that's
doors.
actual service that comes in.
I see.
And our carpet cleaning hasn't been done. We try to extend the life of things.
Don't forget it.
So, select board, what's your pleasure on this one?
I'll second your motion.
Table it? All in favor of tabling this until we get different numbers? Or opposed? One,
I'll try not to make them worse numbers.
table to, select board.
Yeah,
So we got table it. We ruled them.
the budget committee doesn't need. to vote on
No,
it.
because we didn't vote on the numbers.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Now, we need to talk about department head schedule and then also talk about, the animal services schedule.
The police department cannot be here on Thursdays and recreation cannot be here next Monday. So I don't know who you would like to hear from on Thursday, but I believe Jarek is available for EMS. And Marcus would be available that night also.
EMS, recreation.
I can see if Public Works is available that night, as long as there's no snow. But it will be the day after a snowstorm, so. I could ask transfer station to come in that night.
On the fifth.
That would give you EMS, transfer station and rec. And that just leaves police and public works as the, out of the big.
Yep.
And then Monday,
So EMS, rec and transfer station on, this Thursday.
Yep.
Then the 9th.
which is a Thursday. We could do public works.
Tonight is a Monday, isn't it?
Just the Monday.
Nine's a Monday.
Oh, yeah, we could do public works and police if you.
On the 9th?
And we'll fire.
We can do fire then too. if you'd like.
Public works, PD and fire on the 9th.
That's a big night.
Yeah.
The rec was gonna be
The fifth.
Thursday?
There's Thursday.
The ninth and the
I
11th.
mean, if you wanted, we could put fire on Thursday too. We could do EMS and fire.
We can also plug in some of these that aren't presented, like fire hydrants and lights and. So we can knock some of those out.
Thursday. 3/9, right? 3/5.
You still have what you needed for EMS by the Thursday? Are you waiting on? info For EMS?
For fuel oil?
No, for EMS, are you waiting on the data reports? Will you
Well,
have,
that's revenue. Yeah, they should, I mean, it should be, it could be in now. I should have it by then.
Oh, we have revenue on here today.
Yeah,
Did you want to do that today?
and if you would like, you told me last year you wanted it first, so I made it first.
I don't know how I missed it.
I thought you just decided to skip it, but,
Want to finish up with the schedule while we're at it? Who we got left to schedule? How about the social services? Who do we need to do?
it's up to you guys. Who do you want to see?
Can I ask a question about the petition? You know, like, so CLC YMCA is doing the petition. So it doesn't really matter what we may have say because they're putting a petition on the ballot, the voters will correct. Is that correct? Okay. And the same is true for, what is it? There's one other petition,
The
the
Waldo.
Waldo.
But our votes show up on the,
Totally get that.
and
Totally
so
get that. I
people
just
can sort of get a sense
absolutely,
of.
totally get that.
And where do we get the information for the WISE request?
Well, I
Take sent.
You did send something out, yeah.
there's also the Bible.
Mine didn't open, you couldn't.
I couldn't open it.
Oh, really? Did you?
It was a zip file. No, it was a zip file. Once you decompress, once you unzip it, you can get to the, yeah.
And then it.
I don't have any zippers. It wouldn't let me do it, because there's too much information, so I had to do it that way. Or I'd be still sending out a bazillion individual.
Look at me, look at the size.
So even though the Y is a petition, will they come in?
Yes, she said she would come in.
Let's see the Y.
I mean, that's
I'd like to
something
see
that I
the Central Maine Area Agency
I got the
for
other
in
stuff.
aging, because that's a new one.
The what?
The Central Maine Area Agency on Aging Spectrum.
Used to be Spectrum.
That's scary.
I just,
a lot of work.
but I mean, they're not, we didn't,
I've got it, right?
it's a new.
Yeah.
request, right?
No.
Yeah, no, I do. I
It's
looked
a
at it.
new
Oh,
name.
because it used to. be-
It's just,
Never mind. Yeah.
They're the Meals on Wheels people.
And then there.
I'd actually like to hear from the food pantry.
Pam,
Um,
can I make a request? Because the Y is a new request. And we haven't seen it. Can you just send that one to us individually? That way, everybody doesn't have to wrestle with figuring out how to open it. The other ones are repeats, right?
So somebody has requested the YMCA come and the food pantry.
Now, did we do the food pantry through Philbrook or whatever?
Yes, we did.
A portion of it, right? Didn't we split
You
it?
split it in half, yeah.
I remember correctly last year, didn't we have like a little blurb on the ballot?
Yes.
on
Yeah.
why-
Yeah.
we did.
That's-
We did.
Mhm.
And they read them because I think that's the one that failed.
Which one?
The food pantry?
No, not the
No.
pantry on.
The Midcoast Conservancy.
Yes.
It did fail.
Um,
People do read it. They do
they
care.
read it.
So why don't we do those social service agencies the 17th? We can get them in there.
What do we got going on the 11th? You got the 5th, 9th. I haven't heard anything about the 11th.
So you want the Y, I mean, the 17th. And what with the food pantry?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we haven't scheduled anything for the 11th yet.
Who's Scott or Matt? Scott or Matt, do you all want to hear from anybody in particular? I don't know if they can hear me. No? No. So what about the 11th?
Well, we're still gonna have, like, we'll have EMA. Fire hydrants, street lights, public, parks and cemetery. There'll still be a number of items that we don't need anyone to present it to us.
Do you want to move fire to the 11th? Because that might be a lengthy discussion when it comes to the truck.
But that's under, that'd be on the capital,
Well, we can do capital on the 11th.
all capital.
Is there a reason to do the other ones before we do capital?
Just, I don't know how everybody.
You mean all the department heads? Well, I'm sure they're gonna go over their capital when they present you with their budget.
Okay, move fire department to the 11th.
Oh, scribble.
I'm like totally, I have no idea what we got. Thank you,
The
sir.
March
Mind if
9th,
I
is the
crib-
public
yeah,
works
go ahead.
police, and we can add in
Crib
some
off
of the
your
others.
Fill in the rest.
All right, rec departments this Thursday, right? Yeah.
The
EMS,
17th then for
And
the.
also these transfer station.
That gives them time. Only the YMCA and the food pantry, anybody else?
EMS. 35.
Waldo,
Check my phone, uh-oh.
You want to hear from the Waza?
well,
All those a new one, right? Or
Oh,
Fire department.
recurring?
Wow, we're gonna have a.
They
big
are,
night,
but
huh?
last year they didn't submit.
They didn't because they missed the deadline.
did everybody read the
This year. We got-
commentary that was given
Which-
Commentary.
on the big sheet?
Oh.
About the capital street or the?
No,
The agency?
the agencies,
Yeah,
I think,
commentary?
yeah, like the number of residents was not determinable. I don't know if
Yeah,
you care
that's really-
for veggie to table.
I was
Yeah.
looking at the ball. It's not-
However everyone voted.
If you haven't had a chance, I think you might want to review. There were some questions that were asked. I did ask them a few questions just for clarification for you guys.
So are we filling out the calendar right now?
Yeah.
So they're all so 17.
Veggies to Table did provide some extra information that I asked them for. So I'll forward that to you guys too separately. How's that?
We'll do that, we're gonna do them on the 17th.
I'm only inviting the Y and the food pantry on
In
17th.
the wall though.
And the wall, no.
Then we'll fill in the other stuff.
Yeah, say if we do public works, fire department, PD, we can fill in with other stuff.
So you
Yeah.
have EMS
Reckon.
on Thursday, rec and transfer station.
Right.
And then on the 9th, you have Public Works Police. And on the 11th, Fire and Capital, and 17th, you have the social services.
Right.
When are you gonna do revenue?
I think what we're gonna, you want to do that tonight? It was on this.
Probably Dennis and I will do it right now.
What night's the fire?
Yeah.
On the 11th.
11th.
Yeah, 8 o'clock has can't come and come on.
Yeah.
Social services was the 17th.
We could do, with 8 o'clock now, we could jump right into revenue first thing we get here. On Thursday. I mean, the 5th. Do revenue first, then we'll jump into EMS. Rec department and transfer. Sound good?
Sounds good to me.
Sounds wonderful.
I felt the evil eye.
Listen for me. I live close.
Is there anything anybody else wants? Or need? Different candy, more water,
Okay.
special apples.
I was looking for the EMS aging.
I'm waiting for their latest monthly. I don't want to give you February and then March because it'll be. Yep, I can have it any day. I
Yep.
look, I don't
And
have.
that still only goes to 120 days, 120 and over.
Mhm.
Is there any way to extrapolate over 360 days?
Those are write-offs.
So that's the policy and
Well, technically, we're giving them 2 years.
so we're giving them 720 days.
Well, yeah, because sometimes we're not getting reimbursed. Like if we
Right.
had closed out. You're
I'm
gonna
just
have-
wondering what the policy is.
Yeah.
So that's that.
So we
after
still
2
have
years-
24 and 25. We're giving them because we're
Yeah.
still getting Medicaid payments, Medicare payments from.
No, I get it. I totally get it. So do we know what we wrote off last year?
Mhm.
Great. So you'll have that.
Yep.
Great. Thanks.
Sure. So I have a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second, anybody?
I'll second.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
All those in favor?
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Been taken.
Yeah.
Jan, do you want to adjourn? Okay.
Select board, motion to adjourn?
So moved. Second.
Second. All in favor? See everyone Thursday.
Just help me understand. I'm looking at the album and
That chair wasn't right.
Thanks, Matt.
No, it's me, trust me. I have to take the time standing up, then I'm fine.
Because we haven't.